Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today. My name is Mel Rose. Today is Wednesday, May 17, 2023. Wednesday is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is currently in Taurus with 3 going on 4 other planets and the North Node. It's a very Taurus vibe. The Sun is in Taurus, so that's our outer life revolving around Taurus themes, our work, social, and civic life revolving around Taurus themes of establishing security and safety and comfort for ourselves so that we can continue to do the work we love from a place of feeling supported. Moon in Taurus, waning crescent moon in Taurus. The moon in Taurus is a time when we're seeking to establish that sense of security in our home lives and even with our bodies and our emotional well-being. And the waning crescent moon is the time, we're just 2 days until that new moon, so we are pushing out, trying to release thoughts, attitudes, and dispositions. And with Taurus, probably some stuff and things of value that no longer serve a purpose for us, okay? So we're working on pushing out that stuff now so that on Friday, when we come to the new moon, we will have a nice clean slate from which we can work to begin again, creating the life that we would like to have. So let's keep pushing out. Let's tie up those last tasks that have to do with getting rid of the stuff and things that are cluttering up our creative spaces. And we have 3 planets that are in Taurus making significant aspects today and tomorrow. So again, those Taurus themes are very, very rich for us right now. And rich is a great word, but because Taurus does like to have nice things. It's again about establishing comfort and safety and security so that you can, act from a place of feeling supported. It's also just about, the nice things that you like to have. It's about being able to get comfort in your comfort zones, in your creative spaces. So Jupiter just moved on into Taurus. The moon will move on into Taurus early this morning. Jupiter just moved on into Taurus. And as it happens many times, often when a planet moves from one sign into the other, it turns around and either right before or right after that, it makes an aspect with Pluto. And this represents the transformation, the change that we undergo as the planet moves from one sign into the next. And with the moon moves really quickly, so these aspects that it makes with Pluto can be powerful to us emotionally, but it happens every 2.5 days, so we kind of get used to going through those little transformations, right? Whereas Jupiter changes signs about once a year. It just moved over into Taurus, and it will be here for the next year. Jupiter in Taurus, very positive vibe. It's about expanding your ability to establish that security and comfort and sense of safety and support in your life. So this is going to be a really good luck year, especially for people who are willing to put in a little effort toward those things that represent sort of the bigger, better, more fulfilling experience that you would like to have. Jupiter in Taurus squares Pluto here, and you see there are 4 dots here in this conversation of tension with Pluto. So it's not just Jupiter, it's the moon and it's the North Node and it's Mercury. North Node is sort of our cultural trajectory. It's been in Taurus for over a year now. It's talking about like how we're all really interested and working toward a better sense of safety and security in our lives. And so, this is a very overriding theme. The nice things that we'd like to have, the materials that it takes to feel like you are having success and like you are comfortable and supported. And Jupiter square Pluto. So these 4 planets being in this conversation with Pluto can make that conversation seem a little loud. These people are on one side, they're like, we want to establish security. And Pluto's over here in Aquarius, about to move over into Capricorn, saying, okay, well, right now is a time when we actually need to be focusing on the changes that we've been through over the past year or so and trying to integrate them into our bodies, into our minds, into our way of being so that we can show ourselves transformed in the way that we have been transformed. Pluto in Aquarius is about transforming the structures of especially the community life so that they work to serve the collective, not just a few people, but everybody. So this is what we're working on. And the challenge there is not meant to stop us from working for the security of the collective, nor is it meant to stop us from working for our own sense of security, but it is this sense of personal expansion in tension with that power and transformation that is going on for the collective, okay? We individually and collectively have this strong desire to succeed, and it would be easy to let greed or impatience pull you off track, okay? Surprising developments may bring about some disorientation, and by that I mean, you know, Pluto wants us to be living into our transformation. When we go through these highs and lows of experience, there's sort of this expectation on Pluto's part that we will go ahead and integrate those experiences and allow them to have changed us. But sometimes we resist the change, right? Pluto throws all kinds of changes at us and we stick our fingers in our ears. We say, no, I'm not going to change. I'm not going to do it, right? And so then Pluto will come along at a time like this when we're having this conversation where we want to establish our own security. And Pluto's saying, think about the collective security too. Pluto will say, oh, you're over here and I thought you would be over here by now. So here is a drastic circumstance that's going to change the way you approach life. And you could have done this, you could have probably done this on your own, but now I'm here to do it for you. So here's your change, right? So that can be a surprising development. It may make you feel a little bit disoriented, okay? But it's a good time to be embracing the challenge, all right? Step up to the mat. Allow your hopeful heart to be refreshed and renewed. You know, by Jupiter having entered Taurus, and also by Pluto just, you know, asking you to be transformed, asking you to embrace the changes that come along. So that's a conversation of tension. That's a challenge. And I'm interested to see, you know, who it is that might be struggling with a challenge like this where, you know, where you know that if you don't embrace it, you're just going to be changed anyway. You know, the problem is that if you don't embrace the change, then it comes across as a negative thing to you when it's really abrupt and it's a lot of change all at once. Whereas you can take those little changes in stride and, you know, incorporate them with a positive attitude. And, you know, then when Pluto comes along and says, now is the time, here's your challenge, you're like, I'm ready for it. Here I am. Let's go. So I'm saying, embrace it. Allow yourself to be renewed. Allow yourself to change. All right. I saw Martha Stewart on television this morning because, you know, she has the cover of the Sports Illustrated. She's a model on the cover of the Sports Illustrated this week, and she said, you know, if you're, what did she say? She said, don't quit. If you quit, you're out of it. She said, keep going. You have to keep going. You have to keep trying. And that's Pluto here in Aquarius and also in Capricorn, but especially in Aquarius. You have to keep trying to find support and uplift for the collective. And Jupiter over here is saying you have to keep trying also to expand your own life and establish security for yourself. So it's not an either or, it's a both and that's what we're working on at this time. Tomorrow, the sun is going to go sextile to Neptune. Oh, I want to say Jupiter will be square to Pluto through the 18th of June. So that will be a whole month that we're dealing with that aspect, that conversation of tension where we're undergoing transformations. We don't know whether we like them or not. We can get jerked around a little bit on the end of the string. But, you know, we just want to try to maintain, again, a positive attitude, understanding that this is these are the changes that are going to bring us that expansion that we seek, that growth that we seek, the bigger, better opportunities that we seek. So tomorrow, the sun, again, in Taurus, makes a sextile to Neptune. And this isn't a vibe that we've been dealing with for a little while. You'll recognize this cradle shape that I've addressed a couple of times. It's our good trouble cradle shape. We're very supported at this time in, you know, standing up for what we know is right and being allowed to transform our circumstances personally and collectively, you know, as a result of our ability to do that. So Sun sextile to Neptune, this is our ability to visualize ideal circumstances with increased psychic awareness. So what I'm saying is, you know, visualizing ideal circumstances, that's like really thinking about, and especially when it comes to your work, social, and civic life, the way you interact with people outside of your home, like how you would like to show up and how you would like society and culture to look when you get there, right? How you would like to be accepted and included, and how you would like to also show others acceptance and inclusion. So visualize those ideal circumstances. Think, ideally, when I walk out the door, I'm able to, wear this and be this and say this and do this, and I will have success out there in the world. The great thing about this is that Neptune also provides increased psychic awareness, especially when it comes, again, to your work, social, and civic lives. So, if you're thinking about things that have to do with your work life, your professional life, your social or civic life, now is the time to understand that the things that you think that you can sort of foresee, like, oh, I think that this is probably going to work out like this, or, oh, I think this is probably not going to work out at all. You're probably right about it. Okay. So, so assume that what your intuition is telling you about your work, social, and civic place, short of paranoia, assume that the positive things your intuition is telling you about your work, social, and civic place are correct, and act on that correctness, okay? Because that's going to help you embrace this change, all right? So you've got this psychic awareness, or if you don't think of yourself as psychic, I'm going to say intuitive awareness. Everybody's got intuition. Everybody feels something in their gut from time to time and says, I know how this is going to go. And, so I know that, and therefore I know the moves I need to make. Also, tomorrow, Mercury is in Taurus, and it's finally direct, right? It was retrograde for 3 weeks, but it's finally direct. And it's going to make a sextile with Saturn. Well, again, this is an energy that we've been dealing with for a little while, but it is culminating in its full strength right now. Be with us through the end of the month. And, this is a time, Mercury is your thoughts, plans, and communications, your day-to-day running around. And Saturn is that taskmaster that wants you to do what is tried and true, to take care of business, to do the things that help you establish that sense of security that you want in the world, right? That stability that, you need to attend to, not just your home space, but your sort of networks for support, the people that you rely on, the buildings that you rely on, the structures, the governments and businesses that you rely on. So that's Saturn and Mercury in this cooperative conversation. Sextiles are cooperative. They give us tools, right? So this cooperative conversation between Mercury and Saturn, you'll see it's Mercury and also the North Node are in this conversation with Saturn that allows us to get organized so that we can feel secure. All right. We're taking care of the practical business of our inner and outer lives. Okay. With this increased mental clarity. So psychic awareness, right? We're more intuitive than usual at this time, and also mental clarity. We are also more mentally with it, right? We can see, we can understand things, we can work out our problems without feeling too confused, befuddled, or in other words, sort of blind to what we need to do next. So this is all very positive news, believe it or not. This Jupiter square to Pluto, this four placements in a conversation with Pluto, of tension with Pluto, while Mars is in opposition to Pluto, it can look bad, it can look difficult. Mars is also in a conversation of tension with those 4 planets. These are our planets for power, okay? Mars is direct, it wants to move forward. Well, Mars in Cancer moves a little more sideways. There's sort of a longer approach to getting what it is that you want. But, this conversation between Mars and Pluto is like, I want to make progress. Okay, but you need to think about where you've been so far. Okay, but I want to keep going, Okay, but you really need to start to integrate the changes you've already been through, right? And these planets here are here to help us, to push us into action so that we can sort of be taking care of both of those, the guidance of both of those planets and their placements. Okay, so this is also not an either or, it is a both and. We can make progress personally in our lives, we can go after the things that require us to sort of take care of business, and we can also be reflective. We can embody those changes that we've been through as we make that progress. So, the conversations of tension are there. It may be a little bit of a struggle. It may be a little bit surprising. It may be a little bit challenging. Again, don't allow greed to pull you off track. Don't think that you need to get more out of, say, this one deal or this one situation than it's really, what do I want to say? Necessary, but I also want to say, don't ask for more than it's worth, right? In the current market. So, don't think you have to get all of your expansion out of one deal or one relationship or one work project. The idea is that we keep working and we keep expanding, right? So not tomorrow, this Friday, we have that full moon not that full moon. I keep saying full moon when I see the new moon. We have that new moon in Taurus, and this is like the low ebb of our creative cycle. So we're going to, we're going to come back into the present. We've been pushing things out. We've been in the release phase of our creative cycle. And now we're going to bring ourselves back into the moment with that full moon on Friday. We're going to appreciate the present, what we have, what is real for us in the moment. And then after that, we shift gears. We begin again to think about what it might be, what we would like to have for ourselves, what we want to get done in the coming weeks and months, so that we can then begin to set goals and make plans to reach those goals. And then Mars is moving into Leo on Saturday. It's also going to it's going to culminate that opposition with Pluto, right? So again, strong Pluto vibes, strong transformation vibes, strong sort of, embrace the changes or the changes will embrace you kind of vibes as Mars moves on into Leo. And that's going to be really positive because in Leo, Mars is a lot more comfortable. It's a fire sign. It helps us be more direct and clear about what it is we're going after. And I think that's all I have to say about it today, friends. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, click the notifications bell. It all helps me out a lot. And I will see you back here in the next video.